Apparently my phone wasn't hot, just decided that I had talked long enough, and it had cut the video right off. Well, there you go. We were talking about the scratches this week. Obviously, we can't race the horses sick. You guys know that. And when you look here in Ohio, Pennsylvania, you see, I guess what you'd say, the fruits of our labor, which would be us doing things right and the horses now racing good. And you can say, well, you're racing good because everybody else are sick. Maybe, I guess, if that's the stance you want to take. But there are a lot of sick horses around right now. A lot of people asking, where's Adrenaline Rush? Where's Brilliant Corners? Surely they're over it now. Every horse, as you know, is different. We can't, and it isn't just, oh, good, they stopped coughing, they're eating, no temperature, no mucus. Good, get them in to go. You can't do that. You got to now put the horses back in shape to race. So it's going to take a week. So I know that Kevin had said to me yesterday, Adrenaline Rush was sick. He said, Warby Was Up's going to train in 210 Saturday, so yesterday. And then could you get me a couple of spots at Mohawk Wednesday? I'll train him in 58, and then we'll race him. He said Adrenaline Rush is going to train slow next week. He's going to miss next week also, and race the week and train the week after at Mohawk, and probably train right up into his next Sire Stakes. And people may not like that idea, but at the end of the day, it has to be done right. There's only two ways to do it, right and wrong. And if you're going to race horses sick or race horses when they're not tight, you're not doing it right. And in fact, you can race them when they're not tight, but you look back and look at the Sire Stakes. We were in a tough spot, and we opted to roll the dice. You know, the horses were healthy. They weren't tight. They hadn't trained hard in 2 weeks, but they were jogging. It wasn't like they were standing in their stall. And we opted to race them, and none of them raced very good. But then come back and race great the next week. So that useless race is what Kevin is trying to avoid, and smartly, by the way. By not racing Adrenaline Rush when he's not ready to race, it doesn't give him an unfavorable chart line, and it doesn't hurt the horse. You always have that opportunity to really beat up the horse's confidence if you race them when they're not 100% like that. That was the decision that we made in Ohio. We ended up getting money and points, and those are important too. But the horses were not at 100%. You could tell they weren't tight enough to beat up on those horses. So Kevin is taking the high road here and said Warby Was Up will likely race, will qualify or train in 58 at Mohawk on Wednesday, and then race the following week, whereas Adrenaline Rush is going to train the following week. And I told everybody, I think he's ready to go, but he's not. And Harry told me also, beef and cheddar at temperature of 102 still on Saturday. The other good colt, No Free Lunch, still at a temperature and coughed a whole bunch of times. You got to let them get over it. And if you don't, I'm going to tell you what, this may be the key that I could never figure out why our horses still seemed a little bit tired at the end of the season, yet I don't think we trained them any harder or qualified them any different than other people. It may have been because we did try and race them, get them on if the horse was sick on Thursday, so to speak, run some fluids in them, put them on antibiotics, and then race them when they feel better. That might have played a role too. And this is all a learning process for everybody, us included. We want to have a training regimen in place that allows us to train our horses and race them in a way that we can have them good all through the whole year. Last year we tried having the Ontario horses ready later, which worked okay, but we didn't even have the speed that we have this year too. So I think a lot of it boils down to the individual horse, but at the same time, I do think this little lull in their racing, this time off, this reset that they have, is going to go a long way towards the end of the year. So I could be wrong. You can replay this video to me in October, but I think what we've done right now in particular is going to pay dividends in the future. So that's all. I was super excited about the way the horses raced this week. Obviously, I had written an article on Harness Racing Update today. If you have a couple of minutes, 10 minutes, take your time to go over and read it. It virtually just talks about something we've done in the past anyway, which is work with breeders to bring horses in. Obviously, you see No Free Lunch, Adrenaline Rush, Lawmaker was our first horse we brought in like that. Brilliant Corners is another one. Beef and Cheddar, Need Your Opinion. Miss Brampton Beast, we go on and on. These are private horses sent to us. Cruising in Style, also. So we've been doing this type of program for a while, where we work with breeders and end up selling shares to you, our clients, and marketing and advertising their horses, training down to do so. But the horses kind of have to market themselves, right? If they look good, they sell out. If they don't, they don't. And that's where we're at right now as an industry, is that there's not going to be a lot of money left this fall. Regardless of what you think, and I said this morning, you don't have to be an economist to figure out that there is simply less money on the table in 2020 than there was in 2019. Everybody was hit differently economically from COVID-19, but at the same time, everybody felt it a little bit. And if you break it right down, just less purse money has been paid out because of the time off we had. So whether it be less purse money or unemployment, or the fact that there was just less money to be made during this lull in society, there's less money in 2020. And I think that the breeders are going to feel that in a big way this fall. We'll continue to work with breeders and try and make sure that they're protected as best we can, but we're not the Red Cross, and I can't do it for everybody. I have to protect us also. So virtually my article today was a call for trainers to understand that there are going to be a lot of breeders that are in a bad way, and it may behoove the trainers to reach out to some of these breeders and say, hey, if you want, we'd be happy to work with you. If you want to work out, getting the horses sold, and listen, everybody's dollar is going to be stretched this year. I get that, and I talk to you guys, and we're going to continue to talk about it before I buy any horses. In the past, if I priced a horse at $12,000 or $50,000 and it went under that line, theoretically it was in play. I got to be careful this year. I'm going to need people to speak up. We're going to have to do a better job looking at the horses we want, and I'm going to need people to speak up and say, yeah, I have X amount of dollars, or I have interest in that horse, or I can't put myself in a very tough situation this year. And that is the situation of the whole industry. So I've asked the trainers to maybe reach out to the breeders, and in regards to an influx of revenue to the industry, fractional ownership has always been the way forward. For me, I think it's the best way forward, one of the only ways forward, and one that people should take a very, very close look at. Because, if you're trainer A, you have less horses and less money in your stable. Well, there's a breeder over there who can't sell or is going to get beat up at the sales with their horses. You just don't have a way to pay for those horses. So you either work out an agreement with the breeder, right, which can help or not help, but you still need revenue coming in. And I think the best way to do that is simply reach out to people in a fractional way and say, hey, my name is whoever. This is how our stable operates. These are the horses we have, and we'd like to have you involved. This is what it'll cost. This is what your bills are going to be, and give me a call, or text me, or email me, or send me a message on Facebook or whatever. And I think if trainers just start to market themselves a little bit better, they'd be very, very happy to find out what the results would be. So the whole point of the article today was to explain twofold. One, the breeders and the foundation of our industry needs protecting this fall. And how do we go about doing that? That's the second part of the article, which is fractional ownership. So you guys know that. I don't have to tell you. You're part of thestable.ca, and I thank you for doing that. Obviously, it means a lot to me. Every so often, I like to make sure we take the time to tell our clients how much they mean to us and how appreciative I am of you standing behind us. It's been a tough year for everyone. It's been a tough start of the summer for us. Looks like things are coming on now. We're poised to do some good things in Ohio. Pennsylvania, the horses we have there look good right now also. Ontario's on the mend and on the way back. And I fully hope and fully expect we'll end up with having, hopefully, what would be a banner year, but hopefully a great year for the stable.ca. So, thank you all again. That is your opening videos, as I was cut off by my rude Samsung. biggest downfall this week, obviously, James got injured. Very sorry to see that. And I think I speak for everybody in wishing him a speedy recovery. My glasses, I left them. It's a tragedy. Just left with the Goldies now. They're okay, I guess. And on the good side, we've had a great week of racing. Great week of racing, and I want to continue to have another great week of racing this week. Last week, as great as it was, is behind us. Focus is straight ahead. So, I hope you guys too had a great week. Don't worry too much. James will heal. He's tough. He'll be back in no time. As far as our horses are concerned, they'll be back in no time in Ontario. But it is full speed ahead here in the United States of America. Talk to you guys soon. Hope you're having a great weekend. Take care.